Hello, my lovely audience. Not sure how this what is gonna go because I'm going off the top of my head here, but yeah. Sorry, I've been gone for a while. Had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I'm feeling better nowadays. Um, Stitches are out a bit. Well, one side is at least, I think. But yeah. So let's get to the what if. Now, this is with Deku as Daredevil, which I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of Marvel what ifs. I'm going to be trying to do like some random ones that are, like small time characters that no one else has done because why not? I want to carve my own path, not follow everybody else. So yeah, let's get to it. So, Deku, he's gonna have to get blind somehow, right? So, I'm gonna say that he saves Bakugo. And I'm gonna say that, he saves him from a truck that's carrying chemicals, and the chemicals splash in his face and blind him. Now, this is where things get interesting. So, I mean, interesting is because even though he was blind, Bakugo would definitely feel like he was saved and kind of see him as a bit of a hero and, want to help him out. And I'm gonna say that Deku immediately he doesn't get bullied as much. I would say Bakugo kind of like tries to help him out a bit because he's a blind kid now. And I'm gonna say Deku, he's born quirkless. He doesn't have any quirks. And I'm gonna say that he's like Bakugo's like showing he's gonna be a good person. And I'm gonna say that Deku would be kidnapped to become the next like probably a Nomu or something like that. Well, yeah, just to become a Nomu and try and become like the like the body that houses a Nomu, because it would be beginning phases and stuff, and I'd say he'd be 5. So what All For One would try and give him is all these navigation quirks, because he basically stuff that enhances his senses and stuff like that. And I would say that they would try and make him a type of infiltration type Nomu, and they would definitely beat him up a bit, try and like have him learn the fighting styles from just getting beat up, like create his own. And I'd say that Deku would keep on getting up and just keep on getting up and taking more hits, but always retaliating with more. And he's able to see his entire surroundings, so every punch I would say would send out, no, I'm gonna say that he's every time he misses, he hits like a metal surface, and immediately he's able to see where that person is by the sound waves and kicks them in the face. So we got like pretty much a blind ninja version of Deku right now. And I'm gonna say that it wasn't Bakugo that he saved from the chemicals. I'm gonna say that it is Momo. And yeah, so yeah. He saved Momo, and I'm going to say that, yeah, he would definitely get bullied, but not as much because he is disabled. And I'm going to say that I'm going to say that he gets saved, though, by All Might when he's 10. Because that's around the time when All For One got these severe injuries. And Deku would be pretty much completely in like a kind of a state like, when am I going to be saved? I can't take it anymore. Like, he's held out for a very long time, and he's very buff. Like, he's jacked. And I'm going to say he is, when he's saved by All Might, it's actually Deku that saves All Might by punching All For One in the face, well, kicking him in the face, with his legs and pretty much breaking the bones inside All Might's face and causing him to, get knocked out even more. So there's more injuries to All For One. And that knocks him out entirely. Like, that's the final blow. And I would say that Deku would kind of like understand who it is by the voice and know that, I would say like All Might would say, "Come with me, it's okay," and he would probably also say thank you. And yeah, I think that Deku would, after being saved by All Might, people would they would try and figure out who he is, because he would be having like this haircut and all that, and they'd be trying to figure out who he is, and they'd see that his eyes are damaged from like old injuries, but nothing that would be, and he would even say it's like an old injury. And yeah, so they'd find out that it was Izuku Midoriya and he was quirkless, but then they'd find out, oh yeah, he has quirks now, and they're all navigation based. And I would say that Inko would probably have moved on, like try and get out of it, because 5 years is a long time. And she would definitely try and I guess she'd have a weak heart at least, because she can't handle Zuko being hurt. So she would definitely be devastated, and I don't know, maybe she would. Yeah, I actually think she would probably commit suicide. Yeah, she would really lose herself in depression. And Misaki, I would say, take it upon herself, like most of my widows, and yeah, take Deku in. And I would say that Bakugo would be kind of hesitant at first, because he would not really remember who Deku was, but knowing that he has quirks now, he's thinking they're not as good as mine, but at least he's able to see. And I'll say that Deku, he would have the nickname Deku, but it wouldn't be as bad. I would say that he would be made fun of or teased a little bit for wanting to be a hero still, even though he's got these abilities and stuff. But yeah, he would be reading Braille. He'd be really smart kid though still, but at the same time very fit, because he'd be always working out still. And he'd always, I'd say, have some scars from when he was fighting the villains and stuff and trying to survive. And definitely have counseling. There's no escaping that. He's gonna have counseling. And I'll say that Deku, when he gets I'd say he would get some help from Bakugo to get his hero suit, and colors wouldn't be the right for Deku, but at the same time it'd be what he'd get for a hero suit. And so I'd say Deku would be also, he would be good with using things that are around him as a weapon and fighting. Let's see here. So next would be the Sledgehammer attack. So 5 years later, he would the Sledgehammer would happen, and what would happen there is this. Deku would, I would say he would know that the Sledgehammer is there before he actually does anything. So I would say he kind of he knows All Might's in the surrounding areas, because he would hear the amount of power that's just being pushed off from the ground, and just kind of the weight and everything. Sonar, Daredevil, crazy ninja shit, and yeah, so he would kind of just wait around, and when All Might comes around the corner, he would stop him and tell him where the villain is, and immediately the villain is captured, I would say. And yeah, happy story there. So now I would say is those months of training is really just going to be Deku training his body and working out and increasing his and just working harder on his abilities with the quirks. And I would say that he would also be trying to come up with some kind of gadget of his own, but it wouldn't really work out too well because he's blind, so it's not going to really be much of help. I'm going to say that he would be improving his martial arts, and I would say he would spar with Bakugo. And the explosions would definitely mess with Deku's senses and just completely throw him off. But he would be wanting him to do that more and more. But he wouldn't tell him because what's the idea? Why would you show your opponent your cards? There's no reason to do that unless you want to lose. So, So Deku would he would definitely be doing a lot of cool stuff, and one of them is probably the fact that he'd be leaping around and learning parkour and stuff like that. Now I would say is next for the exam. And I would say that they would make a special accommodation for Deku and for him to, get the test done and everything. So he would actually just have to, he would, explain the answers to someone in a different room. And, that's what they would probably have to do. Because, remember, there is disabilities in this world still, so that would make sense at least. And, So, now let's see. What next? Next would be the practical exam, and I'm going to say that Deku, also he wouldn't have tripped, so he wouldn't have met Araka. And I would say that during the practical exam, he would have taken down a lot of robots, basically because of his martial arts prowess, and his strength would be pretty damn strong. He'd be like Stain at this point. His body would be that strong. He'd be like Stain, able to move around like that. And I'm going to say that Deku, damn, he'd be overpowered. I'm going to say that Stain level of prowess is where Deku is at. He's at that kind of level of strength and how he is. Anyways, let's see here. They would say he would save Araka from the rubble before she even gets crushed at all. So, trapped, push her out of the way and all that, and kind of just dodge it. And I would say that a lot of the judges, a lot of the teachers would have seen that and been like, wait, he just saved her before. What's his abilities again? They would. I think Nezu would take a liking to his abilities and, his quirks and what he's able to do. And he would realize that he's a all-for-one victim, which would be interesting. And he would remember him from when All Might's, was injured and all that. He was in the same area as All Might. And, so I'm going to say that Deku, he would get in, obviously, Class 1A. And I'm going to say that Aizawa, when he gets into the class, I would say that he'd be thanked by Araka, and a lot of people are wondering what's with him, because he's blind, but at the same time he's not. And I think he would definitely explain that to everyone. And I would say that Momo would kind of feel like she remembers him but doesn't. But yeah, I'm gonna say that Deku is definitely gonna get a lot of he's gonna get a lot of praise, because people are just amazed that his quirks are so well aligned with how his disabilities are. And that would, I guess, make Ito wonder, is quirks related to disabilities if you're injured? That's interesting. And I would say that Bakugo would also have one rule for Deku, just to say, you don't know me in there. That's it. But yeah. And I would say that Deku, he'd be really well equipped, I would say. If that makes sense. People would definitely see the muscles through his shirt and everything. Everybody would see that he is a strong, jacked motherfucker. Anyways, So yeah, he would also know that Aizawa's behind, like under the desk, and I would say that he would break off a piece of lead from his pencil and flick it and bounce it off the board or that wall, and then hit Aizawa with it. And I would say that it would kind of be like the most coolest kind of thing, like how he flicks it, because he flicks it past like a bunch of people through a bunch of like odd angles and insanely fast, and it makes a sound when it hits. It goes like dunk or bunk, or makes like a ping sound, I guess. And people would be kind of like, wait, what was that sound? And immediately as I would pop up, and I think Deku wouldn't be surprised at all, and he'd be just kind of like waiting for a response. And Aizawa would be impressed by that he's able to notice that he was there, but also at the same time, 5 points off. 5 points off if you ever pass the exam in Aizawa's mind, because he just flicked that at him. And I'm going to say, yeah, so Aizawa would be impressed, though, at the same time that he's using his quirks to see. And, yeah. So, now it would be for the physical exam, and I'd say in the locker rooms, Deku would definitely get, like, a lot of looks, because he's blind and he's jacked. And even, like, the guy that has Sugar Rush is kind of impressed by his body. And they kind of see the scars, and everybody sees the bruises and scarring, and are just impressed by, like, how his body is, and also, like, kind of, like, scared of him a little bit, because they're feeling a presence off of him. But at the same time, he's smiling, he's enjoying his time. Don't worry, I don't have COVID. I'm joking. Yeah, I don't have it, don't worry. Just dehydrated. But yeah, so he would, I would say he gets average scoring, and people would definitely be feeling a presence of him, like a fear, and also like, don't mess with him, he'll fuck you up, kind of vibe. And, so after that, I would say that Deku, he would pass, and Mignetta would get booted out. Next is Heroes vs. Villains, and yeah, let's get to that. So this is what Deku's hero suit would be. Remember, Bakugo came up with the design of the colors. Was not Deku. And I would say that he would definitely be pinned against, he would definitely get pinned against Bakugo. And he would have the batons, and they would just be like normal red batons, really, that are able to like bounce off walls and stuff. He's able to throw them, and they can come back to him. So yeah, I'm gonna say that, and also, yeah, I'd say that's about it. Let's see. I'm gonna say that Deku also. I think that's about all that I would need to add, really. And the suit's pretty much soundproof, so that's awesome. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I think that Deku would definitely be paired up with Raka, and Kendo would be in the class now because Mignetta would be booted out. And seeing how Deku's with Araka, same teams, I'd say that Deku, he'd kind of do his own thing. Like, Araka would go in, and Deku would kind of be, like, in the shadows moving around. And when he sees Bakugo, he kind of just drops down and starts beating down on him. And Bakugo would throw an explosion, which Deku would immediately dodge, but he would still mess with his hearing. And Deku would immediately punch him in the gut, hitting him hard, and then hitting him in the karate chopping him in the back, knocking him out. And people would be kind of like impressed that he just took him out like that. Like, that's how quick he just took him out. And immediately they would go against Ida. And I would say that Ida would have the upper hand here and take down Araka first. And Araka would be knocked out for a second. And that's when Deku would kind of, that's when Ida would come in and try to, like, get Deku, but he's thinking that, oh, he won't be able to see me from behind. Deku would immediately swipe his legs and trip him up. And immediately Ida would definitely catch himself and go in for another attack, but this time go in, like, prepared. And kind of like punch at Deku. And Deku would use his baton and bounce it off the ground and into Ida's junk. And immediately drop kick Ida in the face. And after getting up, kind of injured and bruised a bit, Deku would grab his baton and then he would just basically elbow him in the face, knocking out Ida, and then touch the bomb, and they'd win. And I think everybody would be immediately surprised on what the hell they just witnessed. Like, did they really just witness someone completely just beat down on him? Like, they're now feeling fear from Deku. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you enjoyed the what if, and if I might continue this, I might not, depending on if you guys like the what if or not. So tell me if you guys enjoyed it or not. If you guys want part 2, just say in the comments you want part 2, and I'll do a part 2. Anyways, have a good day and a good night. Peace out.